everyone, I'm Vaishnavi from class 7 and today we are going to start the French chapter which is Mon pays la France. So without wasting time, let's go to the PPT and start learning. So today's topic of discussion is mainly Mon pays la France, and it is only about your France and my country France. So let's go to the next screen for further introduction. So, the big idea of this chapter is to learn about the nationalities in this chapter and to learn how to convert the words into feminine and also how to convert adjectives from plural, from singular to plural. Then we are going to learn an interesting song which is Mon Chapeau. So, let's get started. So, if we discussed about the introduction in the previous classes, or we can say in our previous sessions, we have discussed that France looks mostly and actually very familiar like a hexagonal shape. And that's why over here we can see that how it looks like a hexagonal shape. If I take another color like red, so you can see there are 6 sides in this hexagon. So we mainly see that France is called Le Hexagon because of this shape. Then we discussed in the chapter number 1 not its nationalities actually, and many other things such as its coins, its cheeses, its many things like its fashion also. And in this chapter, we are going to learn about this in detail. So let's take a look over this paragraph. Over here what we have written is like we see here is my country France. So if we decide that we are going to discuss about our country, so yes, we are going to discuss about it in brief. If we took a look over France, we see its many types of capitals. So the first capital, or as we know that every country has its own capital, so France has its capital as Paris. And if we take a look at the size of the France, we see 950 kilometers in the widthness and the length we see is 1100 kilometer, and the shape we have already discussed. The things in this chapter or in this picture we see is that it is surrounded by marsh, Ocean Atlantic and Mediterranean. So we are going to discuss about the different mountains also, the different rivers that follow France also, and we are going to discuss the different types of mountains and the forests in France. So let's take a look after the capital of France. So as we know, Paris is the capital of France. So it has some rivers also in this country. Let's take a look over rivers. Il y a 5 fleuves importants en France. So it is written that there are 5 important rivers in France. So if we discuss about the important rivers, the first river that we know is the Seine River. The Seine River is located over here. It crosses the Paris and the Eiffel Tower, we can say. So here is the Seine River. Then we see the Loire River. The Loire River is actually in the downer regions, which we see just below the Seine River. It is over here. So the next river that we see in our book is the Garonne. And Garonne is not such more important river, but it is located over here. So here we see the Garonne River. The next river that we see in our map of France is Le Rhône. And the Le Rhône River goes from here and it joins with the river which is Rhine. And so there are 2 rivers in this area. One is this one, the Rhine one. And after this, when we follow this path in the Switzerland, so over here these 2 rivers are being merged over this area. So here is the river Rhône and here is the river Rhine. So the next thing that we discussed was about the rivers in France. Let's discuss about them in detail. So, as I told you that the Seine River, which is in the France in the northern area, so the thing that is written in the French is same that La Seine traverse la ville de Paris, means it actually passes through the city of Paris. So here is the city of Paris, and over here this river passes. The next thing we discuss is about the mountains of France. So we have different types of mountains in these areas. So the principles that are actually very important for the mountains are the le Pyrenees dans le sud. So over here we can see that the Pyrenees are actually Pyrenees of southwest. So Pyrenees is actually a mountain which is located in the southwest area, means over here. Let me draw the mountains with a blue and light blue color, which can be drawn here. So here are the mountains, which is the Pyrenees, and it is in the southwest. The next thing to discuss is about the Alps, which is in the southeast. So southeast means over this area, and so over here we can see the Pyrenees. Over here we have Pyrenees, and over here I told you sometimes wrong. This was Alps. I meant to say that, and over here it is the Pyrenees. I'm writing P over here for reference. So these are the actually mountains that are located in France, and these are the two main mountains that we have to learn. Now we are going to discuss about the friends of France. Now voisin means the neighbors of France. So the neighbors of France are in many regions. Like in the north, or we can say North. North means in the northwest over here. Northwest, like over this areas and over these areas. So first we can see the first country is La Belgique, which is located over here. Let me use another color and the pointer. So here we have the Belgique, and it is in the north, and it is a neighbor of France. The next, we can see the next country in our list is the Angleterre. So here we have England, and the next country which is in the almost, it's the So here we have the Espagne, means Spain, and over here we have Italy. It is also the neighbor of it. And here we have Swiss. Then we have the Luxembourg. We have almost over this area because the picture was not coming. That's why I was not able to show you in this picture. But in the next class, I'll show you this map again. So here we have the Belgium that I said you. And over here we have the Great Britain. Over here it comes, but it's not there in the map right now. And then we have some seas around the France. Now, we have discussed a lot of things about the France in this paragraph. So let's recap that what we have actually discussed in it. The first thing that we actually discussed in this para is about the France itself and its city, or we can say its capital. So the capital of France is Paris. Then we discuss about the five main rivers of the France, which are La Seine, La Loire, La Garonne, La Rhône, La Rhine. So then we also discuss about the La Seine in detail, that told us that La Seine actually cuts the path of Paris, the city of Paris, and it travels through the city of Paris in France. Then we discuss about the mountains of France and the main mountains of France, which are the Les Pyrenees in the southwest, sorry, in the south, yes, in the southwest, and then we discuss about the Alps in the southeast. So these are the two main mountains in France. Then we are going, actually we have discussed it already, the neighbors of France. So as I told you in the map, there are a lot of neighbors, which are Spain, then we have the Great Britain, then we have Belgium, Almost, Luxembourg, Swiss, Italy, and then we have three seas around France, which is Mer Mediterranean, Ocean Atlantic, and Manche. So these are the seas and the neighbors of France. Then we are actually going to discuss about its fashion and its cheese that is very famous. And if the question is asked in the exam that La France est connue pour dash dash. So we are going to discuss or we are going to tell that the question in English will be the France is famous for. So we'll write the answer fromage and we'll also write la parfum. And also we can write the fashion which is known as perfume itself. So if the question is asked like this, so we can answer fromage, and if it is also asked that name two fromage from the given below, so you can write le camembert, le brie, or you can also write le roquefort. Then if it is case about the fashion of France, so we can write Chanel, we can write Christian Dior, and we can also write Paco Rabanne, which is very famous. So this, or we can say these are the things that can be asked in the form of fill in the blanks in the exam. So don't forget to learn this para. It is also written on the page number 33 and 34 of your book itself. And after this session, we are going to study some types of MCQ tick mark questions, and then we are going to study the nationalities that we have in this chapter. So you can see this was only introduction, and so we are going to take a leave from each other. So thank you everyone, and bye bye, and thank you for joining this session and seeing this video at the end. Bye and have a nice day.